since about the middle of October. So we are holding our own. Our budget was built on 962, I believe it was. So we're 23 above right now, but we have to keep that number until our March count and March ADM report. So that's good news. Another thing I'd like to talk about attendance is that schools are now accredited. A portion of their accreditation is on attendance, and chronic absenteeism is a big push across the state. And we are going to try to launch a new program that's called Strive for Five, where we try to get every student to make a pledge, make a promise to not miss any more than 5 school days a year. We saw a very successful campaign outlined in Smith County schools. We've kind of looked at that model, and I hope to bring you some more information about whether we can launch that in Covington with a big community response, school board support. We know students aren't in school, they can't learn. The chronic absenteeism is a focus of our accreditation status, and I hope we can work together as a community and a team to recognize that we need to get every student and every family to help us reach that goal of no more than 5 absences a school year. So I'll bring you more information next month. I believe it's doable. I'd like to have support. I'd like to have some type of celebration to kind of launch it and do some public relations about that possibility. So that's one thing that I'd like to talk about. So since we're talking about attendance, and we had a lot of school closures last week, and sometimes people like our school closure decisions, and sometimes people don't like our school closure decisions. But anyway, I have a proposed policy that I'd like to share with you all to take a look at. Just take a copy. This is something that explains to the public how we decide to close school in cases of inclement weather. How does the Covington City Public Schools monitor the weather and road conditions? Does the Covington City Schools look at what other divisions are doing? How do we decide whether to delay school, dismiss early, or close school? How do we announce that? When plans are in place and there's a sudden change in the weather while students are in school, what would we do? How do we make announcements that impact athletics and activities? How will I know when the school schedule has been altered? What radio stations are called? What TV stations are called? We might need a code system, like code 1 means 12-month employees report on time. Code 2, 12-month employees do not report. Code 3, essential personnel only report. And how do you know that we made the right decision? And are there a certain number of inclement weather days that you try to get each year? And we do strive to go 180 days. We do bank time in the case when we can't get in school. Last week was a difficult week making the right decisions. The sidewalks were not good.
It's horrible. Mm-hmm.
There were corners where you couldn't even see if a school bus had to make a decision about pulling out on the road. The Idlewild section of the community was not, it was icy up until Wednesday afternoon. So we made the decision, Brenda Perkins and I made some of the decisions together. Of course, the first night was an easy decision to make. We couldn't be in school on Monday, but some of those other days are challenges to make. And this is just something I propose putting on our website and giving to folks so they understand how the decisions are made. And I call the National Weather Service, I call the police department, I ride the roads at 4:30 to 5 o'clock in the morning. It takes a lot to make a decision to close school, and one big decision is always about the safety of our students, and I'd rather err on the side of closing school than have a student standing on Allegheny Street or walking down Allegheny Street to get to school. I worry about schools and the safety for our students first and foremost. So This is just a document. Everybody here has looked at it. They think it's good. I think we need to post it. I know the winter weather predictions, I think, are not good. So who knows what, this isn't even winter yet. This is still fall. So who knows what might happen after.
We got it all behind us.
And maybe it is all behind us and we have to worry no more.
You know what I think a step
This is a
forward
really
is
good
to
idea.
if we have our newspaper put heading discussing how school closings are decided and have this in the newspaper.
Definitely.
So everybody can see that, which is not in a school board article, not with anything else going on, but, some heading there that says decision-making tough for school administrators or something like that, or just, how do we decide schools close? Something to get some folks' attention out there that it's in print. And it's in front of.
And to highlight the safety. Safety for students and staff.
And staff is as
Yes.
well. Yeah, okay. I think Allegheny did a webinar, a weather webinar, is that correct? About to, you haven't done one yet.
And Jerry could have a copy of this, let all of his
definitely.
folks read it verbatim as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I think we'll get this going, so I think it's a great idea.
That's good.
to do.
That's good.
And the fact that you drive, I know the day I talked to you, you were driving the streets just to see if they were safe.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't always
And
agree
you'll
with
be on a
other.
Honda TV commercial with that, right?
Yeah,
Get you out there, Sylvie.
yeah.
Free
You know.
vehicle.
Someone made the remark to me that when the sidewalks were not cleared, we don't go. Well, there are children up in my community who walk to the high school and there are no sidewalks
Yeah, exactly.
in my area, so they're having to walk on the roadway in order to get to school. That's not safe.
No.
And this was just kind of an impossible
Yeah.
thing with the sidewalks because the city
Yes.
covered them up with snow.
Yeah,
And
I
there
think
was so much snow, there were no
No place
options
to
out there.
go.
I think it was a good decision.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
It does, and I know it also impacts families' lives because
Yes.
families that do work, they have to provide childcare. I understand that as well, but a lot of just hard decision-making goes into a decision to close school or delay school. So that's a document. And then my next thing is just PreK updates. We do currently have 36 students in our PreK programs. They're both full. We are going to participate in what's called a class system of making sure our preschool programs meet all the guidelines that the state believes a quality preschool program needs to have to prepare those 4-year-olds to be ready for kindergarten. I was to have a webinar this morning, but it got rescheduled until Wednesday. So our PreK staff are going to be working on some different modules and some updated material to provide a great opportunity for our littlest folks. And the Education Summit, we did highlight early childhood education at our Education Summit. Our 4-year-old PreK students and our early childhood special ed students did participate. They did do some songs, Baby Shark, and some other things. And the governor, the First Lady of Virginia, Miss Northam, was there, and so was Jenna Conway. I don't know if it's still on your forum or not, but it was posted, and we appreciate you being there and putting our littlest ones on the agenda. So a lot of things are happening. And on January 4th, 2019, we are going to have a speaker from the Virginia Department of Education, Gina Keller, and Dr. Furman, if you don't mind, can you just come up and kind of outline what's going to happen on January 4th? And we'll get an agenda to all of our,
I just did this day.
I know, we're running behind because of snow. And you all are welcome to attend, so that's why I'd like Dr. Furman to explain.
So it will be January 4th. We will start the morning with Gina Keller from Department of Ed, and I heard her speak on December 6th at a meeting in Charlottesville. And she talked about, again, the profile of Virginia graduate, the profile of Virginia educator, and profile of education and leadership to actually, go forward with the Profile Virginia graduate. So I think her presentation will be centered around the Profile Virginia graduate from K through 12, and will include, like I said, the educator as well. And then we will have some breakout sessions. We will have 4 separate groups, and each group will attend a technology session of their choice. It will be instructional technology, and then it will be research-based strategy, so they will choose one of those. We also have trauma-informed schools and family preservation. A staff member will do that session. We will have our co-teaching models, and that will be presented by 4 of our teachers. And then Dr. Matthew Hurt from Wise County will present the comprehensive instructional program that we have begun to participate in. We're one of 32 school divisions in southwestern Virginia. And this consortium looks at data, and we've got a spreadsheet, Friday night, of our task force that we did or had on Friday. So it's data analysis, it's teacher groups, it's administrative groups meeting in various places throughout the state of Virginia, pacing guides, benchmark testing, just to have consistency and succinctness within the content areas at all grade levels.
And that will be half a day. It starts at what time on January 4th?
Starts at 8:30, and I want to say 12:30, 12:45.
And we'll be sending out, our staff, I hope, have been advised by their principals, but we'll send out a reminder. We come back on January 3rd to 2 work days, and January 3rd will be people working their buildings, and January 4th, which is Friday, we will do this instructional professional development day. We had one last year, felt like it was very successful, and we all agreed it was worth doing again. So people learn things, and we have a lot of great instructors and staff members who do great things, and I'm glad that we're doing it again. And since Dr. Furman brought this up, we're SOL testing now at CHS, and the preliminary results with block scheduling are very, very good. They're very promising right now. Now, they're not all done, and there's another day or 2, but what we've seen so far is very promising. They'll come back from winter holidays, do some expedited retakes, make-up tests, and we have a lot of students who are in that range of expedited retakes. So we're very, very pleased with what we are seeing.
It's worked out well with the weather.
Yeah, that's good.
And the little
I was concerned about that.
We
I was
were as
concerned.
well. And it doesn't mean until it's
Yes.
over, when it's over, how we'll fare. But we are very, very pleased with what we've seen so far. Agree, Dr. Furman?
Agree.
Yeah.
So
Now,
we'll get you.
I'm sorry, is Ms. Keller the one that spoke at the educational summit?
No, that was Jenna Conway.
Okay, all right.
Ms. Keller did speak last year to
Okay.
our staff, and she was well received.
Okay.
She's taken on a new title at the Department of Education. She is second in command, I believe.
She's the deputy superintendent of the state department now. She's it's been there about a year and a half, maybe.
She was the superintendent from Orange County and Savannah County, and so she will give us our keynote speaker, because the Profile Virginia grad does not start in 12th grade or 11th grade or 9th grade or 10th grade. It starts in kindergarten, and we have to make teachers understand that everybody is building that student as they go through the school system. So we hope she will highlight that as well.
Well, and also that she will expand on what she's presented last year, but she presented at our professional day last January and was very well received by our staff members.
I just want to mention, in attending the educational summit, it was very, very informative. It was good to see an overview of what was going on, where we are, and where we're headed. The only thing I'm asking is how we can get more parents involved. That's the only thing, because we have a lot of good things in our school system for our children, but we need to get the parents there so they can understand, especially when we're looking at literacy and math and things like that. The presentations were excellent. So
The
I'm just,
$1 million question.
yes, it is, and it's ongoing.
It is, yes.
That's why it's going to take all of us to figure out how can we get them there.
But it is, and it's in every aspect with Mr. Grimm when he has the meeting
I
with the
know.
parents and how many show up, and the open house days and
Attendance.
right,
It is.
right, that's
It
it.
is.
But and it's kind of like you go to the teacher meetings, and when my kids were there, and they says, hey, we're glad to see you here, but we need these other parents to come. So, it is really tough, but there's an awareness, and we've talked about that quite a bit over time, and a variety of things have been done, but even, from as we talk about the governor's school and the uninformed, but the same holds true with JRTC, that the parents depend on the kids to carry the news, and some of the kids do, and some of them are indifferent, and some of them don't really carry the news exactly right. So, sending papers home and things like that is tough. But the problem is our society as a whole, and I say this as a business person, everybody's so busy that they have their own agenda. And we're kind of responsible for that too. And it's like with these athletes, you see, I've got one kid's name down here probably 4 times. Okay, what if that family has 3 kids? And now they've got sports, and 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, they're trying to attend sports. That we've all seen that. So, when you take time out to go down and meet with the teachers, it's tough. That's a real tough thing. But our society is the same, even non-related to schools and kids. Everyone is so busy that they don't take the time to explore and look into opportunities and important things.
Right.
Everybody has their own agenda, so it's really tough. And it's like communication. I just think about it's like, as someone didn't get information. The problem, we've all gotten dependent upon emails and text messages, and I get real frustrated. Someone will say, "Didn't you get?" Well, maybe somebody sent me a text message and I didn't get it. Maybe it didn't go through. They're wondering why I didn't call them. And where do we get those avenues of communications with parents that we can feel 60 or 70% sure that they get the message? It used to be at least a phone call would tell everybody when it snowed, and everybody had a landline phone, and they picked up or not. But in today's world, we don't have those luxuries of knowing that anybody gets a message, whether it's a piece of paper carried home, a text message, an email, or a phone call. So I don't know the answers. Again, we've talked at JRTC, we've talked to here for a lot of years, and trying to get not only information, but trying to get the participation.
For that education summit, we did send home a flyer with November report cards to every family, at least in pre-K through 8. I did a school messenger call the night before to remind families that it was happening. So that was 2 opportunities for them to hear. So we are making opportunities because we know some people don't get the paper call, might get the school messenger call. So we're trying to get the information out to them.
And I know we are. My thing is that just to make the parents aware that we have some awesome opportunities if they would just take the time. And like you said, we live in a busy society. I understand. I'm going to find a way.
With Mr. Graham sitting here, I can use the example.
I'm going to find a way.
He comes to the high school and there's 12 or 15 parents show up at a high school there. We're talking about the whole high school. Everyone's aware of it. And we're looking at, at that point, it was parents from anybody. It wasn't just juniors or sophomores that could come. And there's a little group of us sitting down in the middle of the auditorium. And it's hard to get the parents involved. It really, really is. They're involved with so many things. And they may be involved with all the activities of the kids, from scouts to sports, and they're just, I hate to say burn out, but they get to that sometimes. And it is a shame. They have no idea. Parents have no idea of the educational opportunities that our school system offers out there. They really don't know, as we talk about the governor's school and JRTC, but my son got a lot of college credits sitting in high school, okay? He goes, and he does not have to take English when he goes to four-year school. And it's not because of governor's school or JRTC or anything else, it's inside the school. And a lot of parents have no idea that kids can do that. And the classes that we offer online and things like that, it's easy for parents to sit back and fuss and talk about opportunities that kids don't have. It's just because a lot of it is they don't know what we do have. And it's tough, and I don't know. Again, since I've been on the school board, we've talked about it, and I'm just not sure. There are a handful of parents that want to know, and there are a handful of students that are going to make sure the parents do are going to make good decisions themselves. But there are so many things out there that they just aren't aware of. I think about the thing our school does now versus what they were doing 10 years ago internally. It's absolutely incredible. And who gets credit or who's aware? It's just nobody knows, except that we do have kids that are benefiting from it. So it's working.
Right.
But there are a lot of doors that a lot of folks just don't open.
That's a point well taken, and we can't stop working.
Definitely.
So
Definitely. That's my point. Never stop working.
We can't stop.
Definitely.
We have to keep working.
Yes.
So Dr. Furman, we'll get an agenda out to the school board members in a letter and remind them that they can join us on January 4th for those sessions if they're able. We'd love to have you attend.
Just a thought, as I think about, and right there with Jeremy. It may be, and it may be something, Shannon, that you could do. It may be that we could put together some things that we want to make parents aware of.
Yes, that's what I was.
For our social media guy.
Yeah.
He's offered his time to come and do everything.
Right. So that's the thing, that there's going to be maybe just a handful of people.
Yes.
But a handful of people that wouldn't know any other way.
Definitely.
But they're gonna see it.
They're going to look there.
9,000's more than a handful, Eddie.
No, but I'm saying a handful of parents who care about us.
Well, for example, Melinda's invited to our webinar that we're going to do on weather-related decisions.
Yeah,
You're always invited.
My thing is not how many people will see it, but I'm saying a handful of people who care. That we could pull a few people out of it to really come and pay attention. It doesn't matter who watches it or who reads the paper or who listens to it on the radio. It's the people who respond to it. That's the big thing. But that would be something we could do and do it on somewhat of a regular basis.
Yes.
I know JRTC talked about with the website and things there, but there aren't many parents going to go shopping their website, our website, or anything else. But everybody is in social media, and you're going to have sometimes a kid that'll pick up on it that's maybe not really aware of it either. So that's an avenue we could look at.
That's
I know he will. I know he will.
Yes.
When is it?
Videos always good.
27? Okay.
We're willing to develop a live show or a regular show on these kinds of issues or related issues, anytime you'd like.
Yeah. Just at this, it's a good thing to me, random. You don't want it the third Tuesday of every month or something. That's just like everything else. But just a random, you're going to come out with a burst about something going on at Covington High School or new programs or something, educational opportunities. You're going to come out with a leader line there somewhere that people will go look. But it doesn't matter, because with social media, you may put it on today and it's next Thursday before somebody's looking at it. Depends on who shared it, and that goes on and on.
We'll do our best not to send bricks to sleep.
Yeah, right. So that's something that could go after a lot of people, and then my response to that handful.
That would be good.
Anything we do, if we can get a few people that we wouldn't get any other way, then it's successful. We don't have to have a lot.
And just highlight some programs we offer, like the Fusion, that's a good program, Responsive. Sometimes parents hear words and they don't understand what
the opportunity to save money with college credits, both in the classroom and government school things there.
Definitely.
And JRTC and can promote that, but the big thing, we can promote our students participating in JRTC the same thing with the classes there, that we could do that. The Covington High School is the part of, and the welding class, the success there, the culinary classes, the success of that, and maybe pull out a CHS student that has done well with it and do that from time to time.
We can also host live questions, which we'll be doing.
Definitely.
While we're making the presentation, people watching can ask questions and get a response right there if we have the right personnel.
That's a good idea.
Right.
Well, that's cool.
I just want to give you a point. I was teaching the other day, and I was telling the class what the menu was going to be for today. And the child had heard something on the radio, Big Al, about the menu. She said, Mrs. Preston, that's not what Big Al said this morning. And I just say that to say this. People do listen in other places. But with the snow and everything, we had to alter the menu. But she heard it on the radio.
But you know, the
So she knew.
good thing, and with that social media, as we look at busy lives, and yeah, it's good and the bads of it, but at 5 o'clock in the morning,
Yes.
that they're not going to listen to the radio, they're not going to read the paper, they're not going to get the brochures we send home, but they're going to be sitting there looking, or at 11 o'clock at night, or whatever the schedules dictate. So we could squeeze that in to a schedule when those people are busy. They're sitting there relaxing, looking at all the gossip and everything's going on, and something good's going to pop up in front of them. And if it applies to their kid, hopefully they're going to pick up on it. And then the other thing that it will do will allow our community to be aware, even the folks that don't have kids, of the opportunities that we do offer.
Yes.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I think we could take it and run with it, I really do.
We could. I think that's awesome.
Thank you, Dr. Furman.
Yeah.
And there's one last thing I forgot to mention under the budget. We have a brochure. This is the fiscal year 2018 Virginia Lottery. And they gave a presentation at the Virginia School Board Association in November that I did attend for our division. And they do list Covington City and how much money we did receive in lottery funds, which was $654,171.45. And that does go for reducing class size reduction programs, school breakfast, early reading intervention. So they have done a lot of things since 1999. They publicize that they've given more than $9 billion to schools in Virginia. And they actually gave each of you a little lottery ticket, so you can see if you were a lucky winner. So anyway.
Oh, it's a real lottery ticket?
It's a real lottery.
I've never played.
Well, you don't have to start. You don't have to start.
But you never know.
So their funds they dictate how you can
Yes.
spend those funds?
Yes, it is. The Virginia Department of Education, and the funding is decided which areas they're going to go to. It's not just like they give us to use any way we want. There's certain restrictions on how the money can be used, and that was made, I guess decisions were made back in 1999 about where the money would go. So they have given us a lot of money, and they've given us money this fiscal year 18, and over $500,000 that were used, and so it does go to an important thing, education, K through 12.
That's good.
Yeah. So anyway.
Okay. Anything else? Anybody have anything else? Any other comments? Anything at all?